covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We appreciate you spending part of your day with us, and we appreciate Congressman Rick Allen taking time out of his busy schedule to join us. We're going to talk to the congressman about what's happening in the 12th district here in Georgia. That's the district he has served now for nearly a decade. Well, it was 10 and then it became 12, but yeah, you get it. And we'll find out about national issues and what the congressman's takes on those are. We also are going to hear from the other side, an advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign. Hear what he has to say about this home stretch of the race for the White House. And as always, we'll wrap up the Means Report with ways that you can stay in touch with us and help us get more great guests like the aforementioned Congressman Rick Allen. Congressman, thanks so much, honestly, for taking the time to be with us.
Well, Brad, it's good to be with you. It's good to be in the district. We've been in for the last several weeks. It's our annual August work period.
So the district is big. In fact, I didn't know how many counties it had until we were walking in to do this interview. Do you get to visit all parts of the 12th?
All 23 counties.
Wow.
Yes, and particularly spent a lot of time in those counties that were affected by the recent storm, Debbie.
Yeah.
And a lot of roads washed out, dams. Probably 42 people in the full state of Georgia don't have a place to live right now.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
Well, and we've reported about the damage, a lot of it on the South Carolina side, but people need to remember Georgia got hit hard by Debbie as well.
Right.
I know that there's FEMA assistance available for a lot of our counties. When you pay a visit like you just described, can you help facilitate that assistance?
Yes, we met with all the emergency personnel. We got pictures. We got everything documented. We'll submit that to FEMA.
What are you hearing from the voters out there? What are their concerns or their worries? And I know we could spend the whole show on that, but what are they saying to you?
Yeah, the two top issues are the border and the economy, inflation. We were visiting with a business this morning, and their input costs have doubled. And they happen to be in the fertilizer business. And of course, when we talk to our farmers, their input costs have doubled. And then you hear their nominee talking about how they're going to curtail or actually control grocery prices.
Right.
You know, so the only way to bring down inflation is to increase supply.
When you take an idea like that back to Congress and say, guys, let's help out these farmers. I heard from them during my work period, they're struggling. The Republicans control the House. So, Congressman, a lot of times is it a case of getting something through the House only for it to die in the Senate?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Okay, and so I'm guessing that a change of administration is your hope that it that would change all
right
that.
Now, we could get the Farm Bill through if the Senate, we want to give folks, and I get a lot of requests from folks who can't get off welfare, that want to go to work, moms who want a better life for their children, but they can't get off welfare because they don't make enough money to support their family, and so we have those opportunities in the Farm Bill. Yet it's a very partisan issue. I mean, it's hard to believe. But I mean, there are over 100 members of Congress that really don't want the people in their district working.
Let me cover.
I've never heard of this.
Let me cover. I'm going to just try to rip things from the headlines and cover as many topics as I can with you, because I know our time always flies by together. Right. So let's begin with the lock and dam.
Yeah.
So much concern over the future of that structure. Right. You've been working so hard. What can you tell us as far as an update?
We passed an amendment through the House to return to the original design, which maintains the lock and dam and builds some type of a structure to allow the fish to go upstream. Now, they've got to prove that structure is going to work in accordance with the Endangered Species Act. I don't think they've been able to do that yet, but there are other ways. I mean, we can figure that out. But it does maintain the pool level. My amendment reauthorizes the dam for recreational and water supply purposes. We just had an event at the dam where lightning struck. We had some electrical issues, and the water level dropped to about the level that the Corps was contemplating with this Rock Weir deal, and we had industries that were just getting ready to shut down.
Well, I loved it when you said maintains the pool, because folks, if you don't understand that, that's what the water looks like downtown, especially in Augusta, and where those levels are.
And it ends the lawsuit with the Corps.
Yeah.
You know, the Corps was pushing forward with that design, so we said, no, this is not the intent of Congress. So when Congress and, you know, the executive branch administers the law, so the Corps is part of that body, and they said, no, this is, you know, this is what we think, and we said, no, this is not what the intent of Congress was. So we got, so you get, you know, then you go to the judiciary system.
It's so much red tape.
And unfortunately, you know, when the Corps does that, it costs taxpayers money. And in fact, we won in court, and then they appealed it. This will settle that entire issue.
Let's talk about your Nuclear Licensing Efficiency Act. Congratulations on that becoming law. We have fired up, I think since we last talked, units number 3 and 4 at Vogtle. So through this act, are you saying you'd like to see more nuclear energy across the country?
Yeah, we now have in the 12th District of Georgia the largest supplier of clean energy in the entire nation.
Yeah, Vogtle's just blown up. And it's so big.
And why do you think all these businesses are moving to Georgia? We have the most abundant and efficient supply of electricity of any state around us or any state across the nation. And my congratulations to Southern Company and MEAG and all our partners for persevering and getting that done. Yeah, we hadn't built one in 30 years, and there were some issues. And of course, what we did is we took what we learned and put that common sense licensing and permitting requirements into law, and with their blessing, and then it passed and the president signed it.
All right, you made me think of something when you said energy, and that's the security of our electric grid. I know that you serve on the subcommittee on energy, climate, and grid security. Congressman Allen, is our grid safe, or can the bad guys come in and turn off our power?
There is, well, let me just say this. We know there are people in this country that have come across this border that are bad actors. And yes, they, you know, well, I visited a site in North Carolina with my colleague Richard Hudson, where they took out a transformer in 0 below weather just by shooting out the oil tanks, and got out of there and shut the power down for 3 weeks in homes that were freezing. So those kind of things can happen. And then, of course, you've got the ability to do it through the digital, or that's why we have our cyber center of excellence here. I mean, to protect us. And of course, you build a wall, you try to keep those folks, those bad actors, from coming in over the internet or into their system and somehow shutting it down.
Congressman, somebody stole everybody's Social Security numbers recently. Are we going to be okay?
It is a battle. It is an everyday battle. You need to double secure all your phones. You've got to secure everything. You've got to take the advice, and there are lots of companies that offer that advice. We've just done it in our office, our home, and of course congressionally, I have a network there that we protect. And two, people say, well, I sent you an email and it kept coming back.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason for that. I have to send you an email for you to be allowed to send it to me.
Okay, I've had cyber experts sit in your seat and tell me about this two-factor authentication that you just described.
Right.
People need to listen and heed that, because you do need to protect your devices. Real quick, who's going to be the next president? What's your gut tell you right now, 3 months out?
It's a tight race, but I really don't know what, for example, we know the background of their nominee, Ms. Harris. Obviously, open borders. I mean, when they say that Congress has done nothing, they every
Policy
executive
and- yeah.
policy that the Trump administration put into place to try to seal that border. We in the House passed border security, the most comprehensive border security law with a slim majority that's sitting in the Senate.
I was going to ask, is
Yeah.
it stalled there
The
now?
Senate hadn't passed anything. Now, they say that they have a bipartisan bill over there, but the reason it won't pass is because that bill won't work. It's not going to secure the border. Our bill does, because it's the same initiatives. We went to the Border Patrol and said, what do you need to protect this border? You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
It helps. I've been down there. I've asked them. It's tragic what's going on down there. The cartels are making $32 million a week.
I know we've talked about your visits down there and what you've witnessed. A couple more questions I think I have time for. And Jarrett, you keep me honest on time. You've worked so hard for our schools since you took office in Congress nearly 10 years ago. Are you pleased with the state of Georgia's schools, the nation's schools?
We're in much better shape than the rest of the nation coming out of COVID. Some children were out of school 2 years. And I will tell you this. We are moving because of cyber, because of the medical community, Plant Vogel, highly technical, highly trained people. We're moving a lot of expertise into this community, which is going to produce the best schools in the country.
Well, you're right. And so many kids are getting out of school right now, and there are cyber programs especially to give them a paycheck immediately.
We have schools now where you can go to, in high school, you can get a cyber certificate and go right to work. And they'll also put you through college.
And it's good money, too.
Oh, yeah.
Congressman Rick Allen, I knew that this would fly by. It did, but I think we packed a ton of information in it, and I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your work for our country.
Well, the big thing is bringing down the inflation. We know how to do that. You put people back to work, create jobs, grow the economy, increase supply to meet demand. Like I said, if you're 40 years old and younger, you have never seen inflation in this country.
Yeah, I need my groceries to be cheaper.
Yeah.
I appreciate your help and your time. Congressman Rick Allen, working hard in Georgia's 12th District. When we come back, the other side of the coin, a Democratic advisor to Vice President Kamala Harris on the Means Report.